on the substance, I think hashtag force the vote was correct. But we should have started it earlier. That's number one. And that's nobody's fault. It just didn't occur to us until later on, and Jimmy brought it up. And I'm sure if you ask Jimmy, Jimmy will say, yeah, I actually should have started this 3 months before. You know, that's point number one, is we should have started it earlier. But the other point is, and I think this is really important, man, is when you're dealing with people who are your allies, and I do not doubt for a second that people who are in the Justice Democrats are our allies, it takes a different approach than when you're dealing with corporate Democrats. When you're dealing with corporate Democrats, I'm with you. Use shame all day long. Call them sellouts because they are sellouts. Call them corporatists because they are corporatists. Tell them, hey, you're my legislative enemy because they are your legislative enemy. But when you're dealing with somebody who agrees with you 98% of the time, that's not the strategy you take. You don't call them sellouts. You don't go after them viciously. You don't treat them like they're a corporate Democrat or they're a Republican, because they're not a corporate Democrat and they're not a Republican. If they would vote the way you want them to vote 98% of the time, there are more constructive ways to get them on our side. So the other thing that we messed up and forced the vote is we didn't start it early enough, but also we went immediately to the bottom-up strategy where all the people get involved and put the pressure on, and that's good. But first, what should have been done is, you know, somebody like me, somebody who tangentially knows a lot of these players, we should have reached out to them behind the scenes first and said to them, hey, how about you guys do this idea? You take credit for the idea. You lead this. And in other words, instead of treating them as the enemy from second number one, you talk to them constructively and try to get them on your side to do it. So on the substance of force the vote, I think it was correct. And I just think we should have started earlier, and we should have been put pressure on them, but more constructive in our pressure, like Ro Khanna's interns to Ro Khanna, instead of labeling them the enemy. And, you know, now here we are. We're right back at square one. We don't know all the concessions that we're given. I'm very happy that the pay-go waiver is there for Green New Deal and Medicare for All, but what that tells me is, okay, you got the waiver, so now you're for the vote, correct? And I don't think they are.
Kyle Kulinski's right when he says, I'm sorry, but there's no excuse for the left not to have organized in the last few years to mount a challenge to Nancy Pelosi. You know she's hostile to you and your goals, and she has a 28% approval rating. She's less popular than Trump by far. What the F were you doing this entire time? I'll tell you what they were doing, Kyle. Nothing. They weren't doing anything. It was obvious they weren't doing anything. They weren't doing anything until a pothead comedian decided to bring it up a month before the speakership election. They weren't doing anything. They're still not doing anything. They weren't doing anything. This idea that they were negotiating behind the scenes. Now who's being naive? Kay? Are you kidding me? They negotiated behind the scenes and got nothing. Because if they got something, they would tell you. They told us we got PAYGO, and we all know PAYGO is 100% bullshit. 100%, no matter what anybody else tells you. I know a lot of people, well, that's important because we have to do it. That's bullshit. Don't listen to those people who tell you PAYGO was important. It's not fucking important. That's a self-imposed rule by Nancy Pelosi, and they could have told her get rid of that, and that could have been all. They could have did all of it. What is the point of getting rid of PAYGO if you're not going to have a floor vote on Medicare for all? There is no point. There's no point. And guess what? Nancy Pelosi loses the speakership. The Democrats lose the speakership in 2022 because Joe Biden and Nancy Pelosi are the face of this party, two of the most hated politicians in the country. They're going to get wiped out in the House. And PAYGO rules get lost anyway. The Republicans rewrite all the rules. Yes. This is ridiculous. Anybody telling you that PAYGO is a win, that is ridiculous. That is a diversion. We got PAYGO, so this will enable Medicare for all. Are you going to do the Medicare for all? No. Then there's no point. You're bullshitting us. When Ryan Grimm came out, he was running interference for the squad, just like The Intercept does all the time. That's their role. That's their access journalism. That's what The Intercept does. That's what Ryan Grimm does. And everybody knew immediately that that was ridiculous. Dave Dayen knew it was ridiculous. Justin Jackson ratioed fucking, come on. Everybody knows that's ridiculous. Anybody who's trying to tell you that means something is not being candid. They have another reason for telling you that. They were doing nothing. Where the F were you doing? They were doing nothing. They were doing Rolling Stone and Vanity Fair cover shots with Nancy Pelosi.
Impeachment.
They were doing impeachment. They were calling Trump an MFer in public. That's what they were doing. They weren't doing anything we asked them to do. They were pushing Russiagate. That's what they've been doing. The way you put pressure on politicians is to scare them. The only reason this happened is because I scared them. Because I raised my voice and I was screaming outwardly the way everybody who lacks health care has been screaming inwardly. This woman is screaming inwardly the way I've been screaming outwardly, and that's why it got traction. That's how you fucking do a pressure campaign, not by sending them chocolates. We got to be nice to the people to get them to do what they fucking ran on. Are you out of your fucking mind? That we have to be nicer to them to get them to do what they fucking ran on? You're a cuck if you don't fucking hold their feet to the fire. They ran on it. The DSA, it's in their goddamn fucking manifesto that this is the centerpiece and they wouldn't get on it. Shame them. That's what fucking works. You think this happened because I was fucking nice to them? No, it's because I finally started holding the Justice Democrats to account for their bullshit. That's why this happened, not because I was fucking nice. And that's what's wrong with the left. They're a bunch of fucking mealy-mouthed, spineless pricks who don't do a fucking thing. The moment came and they did nothing. And they sold you out for their careers. I don't care if they don't take corporate money. They are a brand. They are a celebrity fucking brand. They sold you out for their own careers, their own celebrity brand, and their own fucking protection. That's what they did. What is the point of voting for people who don't take corporate money if they fucking go along with the people who do? There's no point. This is a failed experiment. This is a failed experiment. If you don't recognize that the progressive movement is unbelievably fucking decimated, and that they won't even fight a little, and you don't see this as an existential crisis? The squad agrees with us, our policy positions, but when they won't do anything to implement them, it doesn't fucking matter. When Ro Khanna comes on my show and says, I think we should force a vote for Medicare for all, and then a chance comes up to do it and he doesn't do it, it doesn't matter that he says it or agrees with my position, does it? No. In politics, the only thing that matters is the outcome. It doesn't matter how the sausage gets made. The outcome is what matters. I don't care. The road to hell is paved with good intentions. And if you're not willing to threaten the Justice Democrats and scare the shit out of them, they're going to do exactly what they just did yesterday. Sell you out for their own celebrity and career, which is what happened. Now, some people give them the benefit of the doubt, and that's not what you're supposed to do. You don't give a politician the benefit of the doubt when it's clear they're lying and they're going against their own campaign promises. And if you continue to give them the benefit of the doubt, you're failing as a journalist. That's a fail. You get journalism 101, don't give politicians the benefit of the doubt. Especially as they got caught lying and gaslighting. How about some criticism of all her lies and gaslighting? Why are you pretending like that AOC is she just doesn't know what's going on? They're just making honest mistakes. They're not making honest mistakes. This is them coordinated, not coordinating. On purpose, not having a strategy. On purpose. They didn't get anything in a negotiation or else they would have fucking told you. They all took a picture. They all took a picture before they went in and sold you out. They all went in and took a picture. Let's do this, Rashid Tlaib. Let's do this. They're all posers. They're all celebrity posers who love the celebrity of who they are. That's their brand. And if you don't see that, fucking wake up, chump. Do what? Says this guy. Let's do this. Do what? Go vote for Nancy Pelosi. Wow. Looks like selling out to people is really fun. Today, the Fraud Squad showed us all why people don't fucking vote. This is what fucking suppresses the vote.
But what happened today was grievous. And I don't think that the Democratic Party has 2 years to prove to the American people that they will present a genuine alternative to the Trump-type forces. They have, I think, 100 days. And what was voted for today is same old, same old. The same old that lost us seats in the House. No company would thrive in this country that rewarded failed leadership the way the Democratic Party does. So I feel politically homeless today. I think a lot of people do.
Mm-hmm.
Politically homeless. The Justice Democrats, the squad, they left us all politically homeless. That's where we are right now. Politically homeless.